Nikki Haley, having failed to answer the simplest question, what was the cause of the Civil War, correctly, is now going with the old Sarah Palin routine. There are Democrat plants at my events asking me questions. Remember when Sarah Palin said that what newspapers do you read is a gotcha question? That was quite a day. And remember, Palin is the predecessor to modern MAGA insanity. Nikki Haley is now going this route. Nikki Haley blames Democrat plant for Civil War slavery fiasco. This is from the Daily Beast. The Republican presidential candidate claims her political opponents used a stooge to ask an extremely simple question. We'll link to this article. But the important part here is this paragraph. Haley claimed that Democrats and the Biden campaign are planting questions at her events. Quote, Biden and the Democrats keep sending Democrat plants to do things like this to get the media to react, she told the New Hampshire Journal. We know when they're there. We know what they're doing. So I have to tell you, first of all, the idea that Joe Biden is wasting time sending people, not even to his opponent's events, but just one of the many Republican candidates vying for the nomination. It's such a stupid waste of time that it completely belies credulity. But more importantly, even if it's true that a Democrat said what was the cause of the Civil War, she still failed the test. She would have answered it correctly if it was a genuine question from one of her supporters. But because it was a Democrat plant and they said what was the cause of the Civil War, she failed. I want to remind you of what this looked like.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you.
Please, what was the cause of the United States Civil War?
Well, don't come with an easy question or anything. I mean, I think
it's actually pretty easy.
the cause of the Civil War was basically how government was going to run.
Really?
The freedoms and what people could and couldn't do. What do you think the cause of the Civil War was?
When you get a really simple question, you give a bizarre word salad non-answer and then ask the same question to the person asking you. You failed. You failed badly. And if you find yourself trapped by this question, like one of those, like a bear trap or something like that, you really have no business running anything, dealing with world leaders of any kind. Let me answer the question for you really simply. The Civil War was about slavery. And specifically, it was about whether states' rights include the right to own other people and enslave them. Okay? So I know that there's a big crowd that loves to say, instead of about slavery, the Civil War was about states' rights. Well, yeah, it was about states' rights to continue owning slaves. And that's it. Remember Joe the plumber? Joe the plumber, the guy who wasn't really named Joe, I think his name was Samuel Wurzelbacher. He also wasn't a licensed plumber. Right? It's words, they have meaning until Sam the non-plumber. I guess you could say he really was a Republican plant. He tried to trap Barack Obama and get him to say, we should spread the wealth around or redistribute or whatever. And it didn't matter that he was a Republican plant. It didn't matter. Obama answered the question in a way that is logical and was in line with the political philosophy that he espoused. And Nikki Haley is relying on, it was a Democrat who asked me the question. Okay. If a Democrat says what's 2 + 2, you now get an excuse for not answering correctly because it was a Democrat plant. Now, let's be very honest with each other. We know Nikki Haley knows that the answer to the question, what was the Civil War about? She knows the answer is it was about slavery. This shows how terrified she is of MAGA and of other Republicans and what the Republican Party has become. That's what it is. And this was not a good 72 hours for Nikki Haley. Let's stick with her campaign because there's a few other things that I want to discuss with you. Using the internet without a VPN can open you up to all sorts of issues. Hackers have more access to your data, including your finances. Without a VPN, your activity can be logged and monitored by your internet service provider, by advertising companies, and then that data can be sold which means your personal browsing data is floating around out there. You should use a VPN. That helps make you anonymous online. It encrypts your internet activity. The VPN I've been using for years is Private Internet Access. Our sponsor, Private Internet Access, is the VPN that people trust because it's the only VPN that has proven multiple times in court that they do not log user activity. People also love Private Internet Access because it's fast. If you're streaming movies, downloading large files, it works great. You can use Private Internet Access on unlimited devices with just one account. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee, 24/7 customer support. It's a service you can count on. Private Internet Access is giving my audience a huge 83% discount. You can subscribe for $203 per month and get 4 extra months for free. Go to piavpn.com/Pacman. The link is down below.